Big shout out to Sporting Icons, best channel out there.
Okay, so I was watching a video with Billy Nelson. Billy Nelson is the trainer and I believe manager as well of Martin Bakole. Martin Bakole, of course, earlier on in the year defeated Tony Yoka, the Olympic gold medalist from Rio 2016, where he beat Joe Joyce in the final. Now, Martin Bakole put on a very, very one-sided performance. It was a performance that I didn't expect. Of course, I wanted him to win and I was praying that he would, but I felt that he needed to do exactly what he'd done to get the win in Paris in France, if not knock him out. But either way, he gets to win and nothing's really happened with him. It's been very, very quiet. He hasn't had a fight. He hasn't really been around on social media. And I do wonder if a lot of it is because Billy Nelson is no longer on social media. For what reason? I have absolutely no idea. But anyway, in this interview that Billy Nelson done with IFL TV, he said that because Martin Bakole is a number 2 in the WBA, he's expecting at some point the WBA to order Daniel Dubois, the WBA regular world heavyweight champion, to defend that title against Martin Bakole, hopefully this summer. Now, Martin Bakole versus Daniel Dubois, or how it will be officially billed, of course, will be Dubois versus Bakole. It's a very interesting fight. I like that fight. I like it a lot. Both big lads, very, very heavy-handed. Not the most skillful in the world, but if we're going to base it on skill, you may just have to edge towards Martin Bakole, but only just. Anyway, that said, now, I'd like to see this fight. I really would. Will the WBA order it? Of course, WBA have ordered Daniel Dubois to fight Usyk. But again, I think that's a fight that's unlikely. Firstly, he's a Queensberry fighter. Tyson Fury is also a Queensberry fighter. I'm sure Frank Warren Queensberry would have spoken to Daniel Dubois and said, you know what, just sit on the back burner for a bit and you know what, you'll fight the winner. Now, I would presume that Fury and Usyk are going to have a rematch. Would all the belts be on the line for the rematch? Very unlikely. So maybe Dubois would be elevated to the super champion, in which case Bakole could move into the WBA regular world heavyweight title slot, or maybe he could still fight Dubois for the super. Either way, it seems that them two are heading for a clash, which would be great, wouldn't it? It really would. Who would you favour on that one? Put it in the comment section. Now, he did say that they've been negotiating a lot. He's had quite a few offers, as in Billy Nelson has been speaking to other promoters about a potential deal for Martin Bakole. Quite what happened with his deal with Matchroom, or even if he had a deal with Matchroom, I'm not sure. Whatever happened there, who knows? But I've been saying for like the last, I don't know, few months now, that a Martin Bakole would be ideal for Sky to fit into the boxer stable, if you like. But going on the interview, and again, I'm only presuming here, because Martin Bakole was being very, very friendly, if you like, towards Queensberry, Frank Warren, saying how it was an excellently promoted show for, I think it was Joe Joyce and Joseph Parker that he was talking about. So it kind of leads me to suspect, and of course with Dubois being a Queensberry fighter as well, that maybe they've already had that conversation about Bakole and Daniel Dubois. So maybe he could actually be a Queensberry fighter. Could be. But if not, I mean, either way, you know, whatever's going to happen. Now, he did say that he'd like to see Martin Bakole, because he's been inactive, come back to an 8 or 10 round or words to that effect. I mean, had Martin Bakole been a little bit more active, he wouldn't need to do this. He can just go straight into a Dubois fight, couldn't he? Straight into it, or whatever. That way, there's going to be no ring rust. Now, of course, he did help and was sparring Nick Campbell ahead of my pal Stephen Robinson's fight this past weekend in Bournemouth, where Stephen won by 4th round knockout. But I want to see Martin Bakole in the ring, under the lights. I want to see him active. There's plenty of fights out there I want to see him with. Daniel Dubois being one of them. Dillian White being another, Joe Joyce being another. If he does end up signing with Sky Sports and Boxer, you could have somewhat of a collaboration between Boxer and Top Rank and have maybe Martin Bakole versus Jared Anderson, or Martin Bakole versus Arsenbek Makhmudov. You know, these are the kind of fights that I'd like to see. A rematch, if you like, with Michael Hunter. But I want to see Martin Bakole active. That's what I want to see. That's what I've been asking for ever since he defeated Tony Yoka. Keep that momentum going. Keep people talking about him. Saying nothing on social media, not having fights, and maybe come back for an 8 or 10 rounder isn't going to get people talking. You need people talking about Martin Bakole. That performance against Tony Yoka, was it a one-off? I like to think not, but Maybe it was. Maybe Tony Yoka won at the races on that night. Maybe Martin Bakole just, his style suited against a Tony Yoka. But we don't know, because we need to see Martin Bakole a little bit more active, because if we base it on some of the past fights, well, he's looked very, very good in some fights, he looked pretty average in some, and pretty poor in others. Like the Kuzmin fight, I thought that was quite a poor performance from Martin Bakole, one that I knew he could do so much better in. And of course the Michael Hunter fight the first time, but again, that was down to injury. Was it shoulder? I think it was. Anyway, Daniel Dubois versus Martin Bakole. Is that a fight you're interested in? I'll say I am, for sure. Who would you favour in that fight? Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you next video.